Yo, what's outside is within. The mind regulates the hand that masters the pen. The pen is mightier than the sword, but the tongue is mightier still. The stargate to the mind's revealed. The vortex. Peace, everybody. Big CUIC again. We have a special guest with us today. Could you please give your name to the public?
Tessa's Ghost, Legion, Amal Farouk, the man of many names, many names.
Brother, it's a pleasure to have you on the platform,
thank you, man. It's lovely being here, man.
And I thank you for, giving us your time.
No, my pleasure.
All right, so I wanted to start off the conversation about grand piano gun safes and Circa 97. What inspired the title of grand piano gun safes? And because it creates such a vivid image to me. So,
I mean, so Circa 97, he asked me for a verse for a project that he was doing. At the time, I didn't even realize at the time it was going to be on a project that he was doing. I thought it was more maybe a single.
Yeah.
And it ended up being with Farmer, who's obviously UK legend. And it was on a project he did called Winter in Warsaw.
Right.
And I like titles. So the name of, I'd already knew his beats were nice because I was on a song that he had sent me, but I checked out the whole project. Had Snotty on it from Umbrella as well, American guy. Shit was dope. So we started speaking a bit, and I didn't realise he was from the UK originally because I don't spend a lot of time on social media like that. So I didn't realise he was from the UK, and we started talking, and then he sent me a few beats, and we decided to do an EP. And a lot of the beats he sent me that I loved were quite piano heavy. Not all of them, but a few of them. And I just had that grand piano kind of in my mind.
Okay.
And as I'm flicking through pictures and of grand pianos and stuff, I saw one that had like a firearm laid out on top of a grand piano. And I just thought, oh, that's a clever place where you could put a firearm if you had your safe. Right. Imagine if you had a piano in your home, you could have a gun safe sort of built into the piano.
Yeah.
And then that was it. It wasn't as deep as what people might think. It suited. When the name came to my mind, I matched it to what I had been given to Rahman, and I thought that works. You know what I mean? Right. And I liked the title. It had a certain feel to it, and that was it. But Circa 97 is a great producer, man. Great producer, and a really cool guy as well.
And that's what I wanted to ask you. When it comes to Circa 97, what drew you in particular to his production style?
And this is a compliment, by the way. Circa's beats are they're simple, but they're complex in what you can do on them. But what I mean is, like, some producers, I feel like they overdo stuff.
Yes.
Circa, I feel like with Circa, I feel he finds the right moment and leaves it there. And I like that because the type of rhyme patterns that I do sometimes, I've got a lisp, but I've got a deep voice. It's very sort of, I don't know what the term, rough around the edges, if you like, yeah? Okay. And he makes sort of clean, not fussy beats, you know what I mean? And you can really paint on them. Yeah. And I like that about him. I hear some producers, I mean, like I said, I work with a lot of producers. A lot of people have sent me stuff that I haven't used just because I'm not a fan of what they're doing. And some people tend to really overcook their production sometimes. Yeah. To the point where it's like, it's not palatable to me to rhyme on. It's too much going on. Yeah, so, yeah. So, I mean, so I say that in a complimentary way to Circa. His beats just and they're moody. They have a certain feel to them. They all have a certain vibe to them. You never hear nothing of his and just go, it's like, okay. They've always got a nice vibe to them that brings out the bars, Yeah, for sure.
So did working with a single producer shape the direction or cohesion on this album differently compared to past projects?
That's a really good question, actually. I don't know. Another fantastic producer, UK producer, a good friend of mine is Brilliance, and we've worked on many things together. Me and Brilliance. He's given me beats for my solo projects, and we've also done 2 EPs together, which was Rainbow and the Serpent and U-Boat Chess Games. And his production is like it's same as Circa. It's just insanity. They're amazing producers, and I do like working with a single producer. I think it probably can shape the way a project goes. I think it probably can, although I've done a few albums that have had various producers. So I think even if the producers have a similar not a similar style, but they create that atmosphere with the production, I think you can make it work. But I do think it is possible that there might be a different type of cohesion when you're working with rapper producer, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And you kind of building it like that. I think that can work well.
What would you say your favourite track is on this album and why?
I think it's Wingsuit.
Wingsuit.
I like the track. The beat is incredible. It's one of those beats that I'm talking about. It's simple, it's got that vibe to it, it's got that mood to it. And we did a video for it with Rings of Saturn. And we had an ill location. We went out to the location, entered the location legally, inverted commas. There was no fence jumping. We got into this spot, we did a dope video. I think Rings is one of the best, if not the best, cameraman. Like the way he edits his videos and all that, the time, the effort, the energy he puts into it is second to none. This is a guy who's got family, who works, who does a number of things, and he could be up till 4 o'clock in the morning just to make it perfect. So I think because of that fact as well, and because I love the location and that video as well, and I love the song and the beat, I think it probably Wingsuit. It's going to be Wingsuit.
Okay. So how do you... Are there any specific themes or stories you wanted to convey through Grand Piano Gun Safes?
That's another really good question. To be perfectly honest with you, a lot of the time I have concepts as well. Like Automatic Writing was an album I did just prior to the Grand Piano Gun Safes. That album was all about automatic writing, which is, to make it a simple explanation that won't be long-winded, it's like being a conduit for another force to speak through you.
Right.
Negative, positive, doesn't, it can go both ways. But, people that basically can act as a conduit for something, and then they write or they draw pictures that is coming from another force other than their own mind.
Yeah.
So, and it was themed that way, but the problem with me is when I write, I go all over the place. So, and it's non-intentional, that's how my mind works. So 1 minute I could be talking about UFOs and aliens, and the next minute we're in some street shit that might happen, a fight, or something that me and Ray might have done when we were younger, when we were getting in trouble and, with the police and stuff like that. It could be, and then the next minute it could be about ancient Egypt, and then the next minute after that it could be my mind hops about like that. And to try and contain it down to one thing or to one specific craft the whole time would be very difficult for me, because I don't like to write like that. I like to just let go and just whatever, let it come out. So, I mean, the theme of there is a slight theme to Grand Piano Gun Safes, and it is kind of like that, that sort of stately home, calm piano, musket on the antique bookshelf, kind of little bit to it. And that's mainly because of the production, because really my bars on that, they go all over the place as well, like they always do. So, but yeah, I think Circa's production held that together lovely.
Do you know what? Like, because I'm a person who's very conceptual. Like I was saying to you earlier on, before we turn on the camera, like my album's called The Sound of Calligraphy. You know what I mean? I wanted I wanted to have the title make you think, what's going on? Like before you even put on a CD. So when it comes to you and your concepts and your title, where is that coming from? Because to me, it's very intriguing, very interesting.
It's usually just from stuff I'm into, to be honest. I don't think, I mean, some people, they assign very deep meanings to a lot of things, and that's fine when an artist works like that. There's deep life things that they want to convey in their music. To be honest, I'm a very private person. I don't like, if anyone that knows me has ever looked at my social media, I've never posted, I mean, and this is, please, I don't to no one to take offense, this is, I have friends that do the same thing that I don't do. And so this is no diss to anyone, this is no judging anyone that doesn't, you know. I've never posted a picture of my mother, my sister, my grandmother, my father, my children, my fiance, myself. Well, myself is the only thing, and only in a musical term. You won't catch me just posting selfies. I don't do that. The only time I am ever on social media is when I am promoting a new project. Otherwise, I could disappear for 6-7 months and people are like, where the hell have you been? You know what I mean? Because I have no interest in it. You know, I only want to use it to show people my music. And another thing, when I say that, that doesn't mean I'm unapproachable. I interact with literally every single person that messages me, comments. They always get a response and an interaction from me. And, you know, it's not like, but I'm here to do music. So with regards to, you know, where it comes from for me, because my private life is private and I like it to be that way, it all just comes from things that I'm into. So my first album, well, when I say me, that's always plural. It's always me and my boy Rings of Saturn. Right. And Raven Debt is always involved as well. He's, you know, my right-hand man. Yes. You know what I mean? But Stretch Lincoln's was about Kennedy and the Kennedy assassination. That's something I spent many years reading about, many years studying, looking at, you know, all the different theories, different evidence that came up through times, different documents that were being released through FOIA request and things like that. And I always kept on, you know, looking at it. And when we did the first album, I just had that vibe to call it Stretch Lincoln's because Kennedy was killed in a Stretch Lincoln, an open top Stretch Lincoln when he was killed. So why not, you know? And I put, you know, on the vinyl we did an alternate cover where we had Kennedy on there, a great piece of like artwork from my boy Rings who did a crazy job with that. That was the first vinyl I ever released. So I just call things what I like, you know, or things that they mean something to me, but it's usually something that I'm into, that I've studied or looked at or been interested in for many years. And I just convey that. I try not to attach any of my personal life's things into my music. My music is an art form, to create something that comes from my mind. It's not to tell you about me and my personal life, you know. I'm not interested to do that. You know, some people may think that's rude, or, you know, but, you know, this is not what I'm here. I'm not here to talk to you about me, you know, the person I am and what I do in my everyday life. And, you know, post a million pictures of my kids and my family and what I ate yesterday and what I didn't eat tomorrow, you know what I mean? And that's fine, the people that want to do that, but that's just not me, you know. That's not what I like to do, so,
No, that's dope, man. You can only be you, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like we said this before, it's different horses for different courses. Yeah, everyone's entitled to do what I don't judge anybody that does something different from what I do. You know, in my world there is only me in terms of what I do, you know, and that's only me, down to me, my responsibility. No one else's. You know, like I said, anybody that does do the things that I've said that I don't do, don't take offense to it. That's fine. I don't judge anybody that does do that, but it's not for me. That's not for me.
I hear you, brother. How do you balance lyricism with production when crafting a project like this one?
See, I don't find a lot of trouble trying to balance, the lyrics with the beats, because my process is very almost straightforward. I mean, once I've picked the beats that I like, there is always a beat that will jump out at me first, which is like, this is the first one I'm going to write for. Yeah. When that happens, I play the beat and that's it. If it comes, I begin. And if it's good, if whatever's happened is good, and I'm on the right, I could pen the whole song all the way through, you know, possibly make changes to it after. But there is no, for me, I don't overthink it. I don't overthink it because, like I said earlier, my mind can't. If I overthink it, then it's finished. You know, God rest his soul. Seventh Dan, amazing producer, amazing human being, passed away some 8 years ago now. we used to record in his studio. And he had a file for me once that was a 16-bar verse, and the file was almost 4 hours long. So how many times do you think I tried to lay that 116? Hundreds.
Yeah.
And I was overthinking it, and and man are telling me, no, it sounds dope, and overthink. And when you do that, you ruin what you've got there.
Okay.
You know, you ruin your enthusiasm. You ruin that artistic vibe that goes through you when you start penning something and you like it and you start really getting into it. You know, you overthink it. It's like stabbing it.
Yeah.
You know, stabbing it straight in the heart and killing it. You know what I mean? It's because then your brain can't get past it.
Right.
It can't get past this, so it can't get past that. That's one thing that I stopped doing, and the moment I stopped doing that, I became tenfold productive. Than what I was.
Yes.
So, yeah. So I try not to overthink it. I just, wherever the beat takes me, I just let it go, like that.
I hear you, bro. Alright, so just moving slightly away from grand piano gun safes.
Yeah.
I wanted to take a look back on your album Automatic Writing. How do you feel that you've evolved as an artist since that album?
I'll tell you something. It's funny that you ask about automatic writing specifically. That was a concept for an album that I had quite a long time ago. And I kind of left it. And then I started getting some beats from Brilliance. I can't remember if Circa's on that. I don't think he was, because I picked most of those beats, I think, before me and Circa kind of started doing grand piano, so I didn't need any more beats for it. But Brilliance, Tony Mahoney, Carne, there's a lot of dope producers that were on that. And it was quite a long time, and I had the right beats. It just, because it was quite a dark sort of, not, don't want to say morbid or macabre, but it had that kind of dark black magic-y feel to it. And something that's quite important about that album is, in the early days with MySpace and, you know, the MySpace era and all that, I used to get a lot of messages from people, like from the UK, from other places. And they used to ask me like some really crazy questions, like things like, are you a devil worshipper? Because I would rap about black magic and, you know, but that's because at the time I'm reading the material.
Right.
You understand? I said to you, everything that is in the music is things that I'm into, that I read about, that, you know. So at that time, I went through, you know, a lot of very, very heavy material about, you know, King Solomon, the Lesser Key, the Book of Grimoire, you know, all this black magic text, or, you know, mystical text that, you know, came from out of the, you know, the magic realm, you know, whether it be secret societies, this, that, the other. So because of that, and I conveyed a lot of that because it interested me in the music, people would get strange ideas that you were a devil worshipper because you were rapping something, you know, you were talking about black magic. I mean, it's, you know, completely ridiculous, you know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, people used to ask me questions like that and stuff.
Okay.
Like, now I don't feel the need to have to explain anything to anybody. Like, back then I used to think, oh, like, you know, people are not going to feel my shit. Like, you know. Now I couldn't care less whether people feel it, they don't feel it. You know, they think it's this, they think it's that, because it's irrelevant. You know, one day we're not going to be here. And who's going to give a monkeys what anybody thought about anything?
That's right.
You know what I mean? And I think people need to start, like, people need to, you know, like, take it easy a little bit, man, you know? Like, people need to take it easy. Don't take it so seriously, man. You know, obviously life is serious. There's things that need to be done, serious things, but ultimately, one day we will all be dust. One day this sun, even our own sun, one day the sun will die. However many billions of years it is, the sun will cease to exist. This solar system will cease to exist, and there will not even be a trace that human beings ever existed on a planet called Earth.
That's right.
So who gives a shit? You know what I mean? It's like, I
don't
know, man. That's only a mentality I think that you get with when you get older.
Yeah.
And you get wiser. Because I certainly didn't have that mentality when I was young. I was the same, you know, doing dumb stuff and this and that. But as you get older, and that comes out in the music. Now I just do what I think I like to do, and whether it's well received or it's not well received, we'll worry about it later.
Yeah. So what would you say your biggest lesson is that you learned about yourself through making music?
You know, that's a good question. Man, your questions they're good questions, man. Fuck. That's a hard one, man. I mean, could I say I learned that I loved music? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I always liked music, but I don't really think I realised how connected I was to listening to music, because hip-hop's not all I listen to. I listen to a variety of music from a variety of eras. I'll tell you something, though. I was always sure in my mind that I could write songs and write rhymes and this and that and the other. But I always did wonder whether my pen would be respected amongst people that I thought were good. You know, like, you know, amongst your peers, you know, like, and I've worked with, you know, some people that I was, you know, very happy to work with. I've worked with a lot of people. I mean, it's good. I mean, I never thought I'd be able to sell music and make money from it, but that's happened. Yeah. You know, I think that might be the biggest thing, that something that I did purely because I love to do it actually became an avenue where I could actually make some money for it, because I thought that era was gone for me. And so did, you know, Raven Detta. You know, that's the era where man was selling CDs out the boot of the car. Right. We were just too young for that era. We weren't, you know what I mean? Had we been born 5 years before that, we might have been making music right in that era and made some money. You know, you hear about guys making 100,000 selling CDs out the trunk. You know, guys can't do that now, you know what I mean? So, yeah, man.
How do you maintain your authenticity in a genre that is constantly changing and evolving?
I'll tell you, partly because I don't listen to half this shit. Because it's difficult. I respect many rappers from, let's talk about the UK, because I'm from the UK, right? So I respect, there are many super talented spitters from the UK, but the vast majority are basic. Okay, they're either basic or it just sounds a little generic to me. And that's not to say, oh, you know, I'm fantastic, I'm so lyrical. That's not, you know, like, some people have told me I think you're shit, and I've said to them, thank you, I appreciate the feedback. No, seriously, I had you know, this is a funny little side anecdote. I'm with Raven Detta at his old spot he used to have up in Ponders End. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. And this is quite a few years ago, and we had one of our Turkish brethren there, and his cousin was there as well. And he basically turned around to me after we played the particular song that me and Ray had done, and he said to me, you know what, Renna? I was like, what? He's like, I fucking hate your music, man. I was like, why, man? Like, he was like, I don't know, man, I'm into partying and stuff. I like house music. I like, I imagine what you do for the people that like that kind of stuff, it's the shit, but it's just not for me. Well, how can you get angry at a comment like that? The guy is just straight up honest. He just told me, like, and that's why I think with the music, authenticity, you have to just do whatever the hell it is you're gonna do. I mean, it's like, am I gonna sit and worry? Like, I might, you know, I'm gonna reference a case about something that I've been reading about for the past 5-10 years. Maybe 90% of people that listen to the song and I say a certain bar about something, they don't know that case. They're not gonna understand what I'm talking about. You can't worry about that. I can't anyway. I have to just do and write and input what I want to input. And if you don't understand it, that's absolutely fine. But I think if you want to be authentic, people say you make music for the fans. No. You don't make music for the fans. You make music for yourself. And then if you have fans that love the music, then obviously, respect to your fans, and you've got to love your fans and show your fans love, of course.
Right.
But you can't make music for the fans, because then you're not making what you want to make. If I made music for the fans, I know that most people don't want to hear the shit I'm talking about. It's too complex for them. It's too weird. It's too, offbeat. It's this, it's that, it's that. So I know, I can't make music for the fans, because if I make music for the fans, I have to fall into this generic category that I don't want to fall into.
Yeah.
And I have to force something that isn't natural to me when I'm doing it. So if you're anything that you force is not going to be as good as what comes natural. That's my opinion. You know what I mean? And that, I think that's how you maintain your authenticity. You stick to what you want to do, the way you like to do it, and that's what you give the people. And if you have fans that come off of top, fantastic. If you don't, cool. That's also cool. There was many years that I did free verses and free this and free that and free shows, and no problem, you know what I'm saying? But then I got to a point where people were happy to pay for my music, and people were happy to pay me to do a show, and pay me for a song. Okay, so now and I didn't have to change anything. I just did what I did. Right. And there might be someone who doesn't do something authentic and gets more shows and gets more, but I don't think it should work that way, because I don't think that those people's music or art stands the test of time. That's the sort of stuff that you just, in the end, just forget about. Yeah, and then all that classic stuff stays where it is. Yeah, and it can be re-listened to at any time.
Where do you see your artistry like in 5 years? Are there any specific goals that you're working towards?
Look, there's times where I thought, can I keep doing this? Because I have children, I have family, I have, other responsibilities which I don't have to get into, like, involving with family and stuff. I would like to say in 5 years that I'd still be doing it. I think I will still be doing it, because even through the years of having children and all that, I've always made time for it. Every spare second I get, if I'm not with my children, with family, doing work, doing something, I'm sitting, working on music in some form or fashion. So I think I will always do it. And in 5 years, look, not that every artist wouldn't like this. In 5 years, I'd like to hopefully have more fans, more people that listen to the music, more people that want to part with their hard-earned money to buy the music. And this is not sort of for me to blow my own trumpet, but never had a complaint about anything we've ever sent to a customer. We've sent out well over 1,000 units of vinyls, CDs, cassettes, art prints. Never had a complaint from anyone. Want to continue to keep doing that, making all the packaging and all everything that we do even better. And like you said, hopefully just more progression, more people. The more people that listen, the more people that want to buy, the more capital that comes in, the more you can keep doing it. Because everything is, there is no label here. Dark Fleet, Saturn Division, this Mirror Rings of Saturn. That is it. We are the label, 2 guys. Everything you see, recording, mixing, mastering, artwork, music videos, packaging, customers' requests, you name it. I'll reel off the whole list. It's 2 guys.
Yeah, that's dope.
You know what I mean? So for all the people that think they need a 10-man team, you don't need a 10-man team. You just need 2 to maybe 3 dedicated people, and that's...
Yeah, you men are getting it done.
You can get it done like that.
Yeah. How do you feel about the current state of hip-hop? Is there anything you think the culture is missing right now?
Authenticity was a question that came earlier. Something, if we go back to just that word itself, authenticity, that's missing from the music. I think that's missing from all genres of music now. Not just hip hop. It's missing in a lot of genres of music. Listen, we're the older heads. We're always gonna say the 90s was this, the 90s was that, but the youngsters have what they have now. That's it. You know what I mean? And you can't be mad at that. No older people can be mad at that and be, do we think a lot of this stuff that they listen to is horse shit? Yeah, absolutely. Would we listen to it? No. But at the end of the day, this is the era, this is the time. And we mentioned this before earlier. I think everything that in hip hop that used to be mainstream in the 90s, you know what I mean, eventually sank and became what's underground now. You know what I mean? And now mainstream is, you know, drill music, trap music, you know, a lot of auto-tune stuff. And you know, some of it's all right, man. Some of it's all right. Some of it's, you know, palatable. You can listen to it. Some of it's got a vibe to it, you know. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot missing from hip hop. I mean, lyricism, that's you know, there is certain people that still, you know, that's important to them. But on the whole, I mean, goodbye lyricism, you know, that went out the window quite a while ago, and I don't see it being the predominant thing that comes back that says, you know, because in the old days, if you couldn't spit, that was it.
It's a problem, innit?
It wasn't hot. You weren't doing nothing that was hot. Nowadays, you know, whether you can spit or not, you could turn up. As long as you got a status or a popularity of some kind through social media, this and that and the other, you'll be revered as someone, you know, and people make ridiculous statements about some people, you know, like, I've heard some of the most ridiculous, like, things like Lil Wayne is the greatest rapper of all time, you know, and I'm not picking on Lil Wayne now, I'm just saying, like, come on, man. Like, Lil Wayne is not the greatest rapper of all time, you know. Think about this landscape of rappers in the world, you know. People just say ridiculous shit, like, it's, you know. Yeah, it's crazy, man. So I think, yeah, lyricism, you could always come home, mate. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we'll have you back, you know what I mean?
Definitely. Well, saying that, what role do you see yourself playing in this broader scheme of the hip-hop movement, if you want to call it that?
I'll be honest with you, I don't think I play any role in it.
Why would you say that?
I'm not part of the quote-unquote UK scene, or, you know, we spoke about this earlier before, you know, we started. From the days of MySpace, you know, predominantly all the people that wanted to work with me were either from Europe, the Americas, or other countries, like, you know, around the world. I did not get a lot of people from the UK that were interested in working with me. And that's not the reason I say I don't play a role. The reason I say that is I've never been part of that UK scene in that way. You know, I've always just worked with the people that I've worked with White Lotus, for example, who is a Woo affiliate from Canada. Right. You know, me and him have worked quite a lot together. I've worked with people from Albany, New York. I've worked with people from Mexico, Germany. And I liked working with the European lot and the Americans and different people because it was something different, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't feel like I play a role in the UK scene or even in any international scene. I think my role is I just do what I do, and people either like it or they don't like it. I've been lucky. I've worked with, you know, people like Conway. We had a song with Conway. Me and Raven Dare had a song with him very early on when he released, when Reject 2 had come out around that time. I've worked with some Woo affiliates, and all of these things were personal things. It wasn't because I wanted to go and say, hey, I've worked with a Woo affiliate. No. White Lotus was a guy whose projects he did like 5-6 projects. He had Forbidden Kung Fu, he had the Lotus Society Volume 1 and 2. I mean, I absolutely loved this guy. I thought he was super dope. So when I work with someone, it's not about resume for me, it's about, that was a guy I respected, I admired his pen, I got to work with him. Ticked off the list kind of thing, you know what I mean? So, yeah, as far as the role I play in hip-hop, I think the role I play in hip-hop is just, if there is people out there that like all the crazy shit that I like, you'll probably like my music a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, you know, but I don't feel I play a specific role in the game. You know, I don't think I'm pivotal in any way for or against anything, you know what I mean? So.
I don't know if I'd agree with that. I think you've done a big body of work, which is something that a lot of people can reflect on and
excuse me,
gain some good insight from. In my own personal.
Thank you, I appreciate it. In that respect, yeah, we've done, you know, a lot of stuff, and I mean, and I think 80% of what we've done has sold out in terms of the physical copies and all that. And that's what I mean. I love that. That's great that people want to, there's people making money working and they're spending their, £20, whatever it is, or dollars, or however much, to buy something from me that came out of my mind, out of my mouth, and went on a song. That, to me, that's fantastic. That's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not dogging us. Like, we've done and we've done it all on our own. So it's not. I just don't feel like we have a place in any scene or any role.
No, I
feel like we're just kind of like, it's almost like drifters. You know what I mean? You just, we just float about and just do what we do, sort of thing. Yeah.
All right. So in connection with that, to people that's like you mentioned that don't mind coming parting with their £20 or $20, how would you describe your relationship with your fans?
I think my relationship with my fans is a very close one. I mean, there's like literally anyone can message me. I've had people, Emmanuel from France. This guy's a major fan. Wonderful, wonderful guy. He buys all of our stuff. He hits me regularly, comments regularly, and I always hit him back, and I always talk to him. And I say to him, when I finally get a chance to come to France, I'm going to come and meet you, Many years ago, we were in the Netherlands, and there was a couple of people that had bought stuff of mine, and I met up with them in Amsterdam. We went to a coffee shop, we smoked, Like, I'm accessible to anybody, you know what I mean? If a fan makes a comment, most of the time, if I don't just like the comment, I will respond. If they send me a message, most people would tell you, anybody that messages me on the Bandcamp or on the social networks, I get back to them almost immediately, So, all the fans are cool, man. They always got kind words to say, always appreciate what we're doing, comments about the packaging, comments about the way we have the stuff delivered. It's always safe and well. And I'm always grateful for that. And, so to any fans of mine, Rings of Saturn's, Raven Dares, we're always accessible. They can message us on Instagram. They can message us on Facebook. We've got emails that are for, business purposes, but also fans can just message on there if they got a request, something to ask about, And 99.9% of the time, you will get a reply almost ASAP. So, so it's personable with the fans, very personable.
What would you say your most meaningful feedback is that you received from one of your listeners?
I think it's just when they appreciate what you do. Sometimes there's been situations where a couple of guys have like quoted a certain line that they really liked, and a couple of times it's been a line that I thought might have been missed by some people, you know what I mean? Or unless you know specifically about what I'm talking about, because it might be on a subject matter that isn't a commonplace, but just so happens that there is a fan listening or a person that knows about that same thing that I'm talking about, and they're like, oh, that's sick, bro, like that you included that, and that's cool, man. Like someone got that line that I didn't think anyone was going to understand. There was somebody out there who got it, you know what I mean, appreciated it. So things like that, man, it's cool. When people say nice stuff, it's kind words, it's that'll make anyone feel good when someone appreciates something that they've done, you know what I mean?
So do you feel that your music resonates differently with audiences in different parts of the world?
For sure. For sure. I think that's the reason why in the early days, me, Raven Dares, Rings of Saturn, why we were getting way more love. We actually had a project that came out in 2006. That was really my first project. It was unofficial though. 2017 was when Stretch Lincoln's came out. But in 2006 we did a project, me and Rings of Saturn. It was called Death from Above. And we put together quite a macabre sort of horror movie type of album. And we pressed it up with Blade, funny enough, 052 on Blade that does the podcast many years ago. I still never met Blade, but I'm sure it was him that did it for us. I remember Rings telling me, and we we used our work franking machine, which is for sending out work mail, to send out nearly 1,000 copies of this CD all over the world, and God knows how much money we cost the company. And in the end, they put a lock on the machine and we couldn't do it anymore. But we sent that out for free.
Yeah.
That was proper pressed up, jewel cases, 8-page booklet. And the artwork was done by a guy called Show Graphics.
Right.
Who also did untold amounts of artwork for Wu-Tang affiliates, including Wu Syndicate, and, you know. And it's like, as a side note, I just wanted to put in there, because I'm not sure if it's going to be one of your questions. R.I.P. War Cloud, aka the Holocaust, one of my favorite rhymers, passed away recently, so I just wanted to say that as well. And also to say that Sinister Stricken is one of my favorite artists of all time, and him and his brother TCG are probably two of the most talented guys in the UK, and he's another guy who had massive love from abroad before he ever got real love in the UK. He's worked with untold Wu-Tang affiliates, you know, Timbo King, Beretta 9, you know, he's a monster. So for people that don't know, because I never got a chance on another little interview thing that I did quite a few years ago to mention his name, you need to go check out Sinister Stricken. Make sure you're wearing a hat or something, because your top of your head's gonna fly off when you hear this, like what he's got. He's crazy, man. So
I'm definitely gonna check that out myself.
Yeah, man. The guy's lyrics beyond most people's comprehension.
Okay.
Yeah, he's incredible artist, and his brother, he's an incredible graphic designer and producer as well. And yeah, man, like two of the illest.
What do you hope your fans can take away from your music, especially from Grand Piano Gun's saves?
I hope they can just enjoy it, to be honest. I hope they can just listen to it. A lot of the comments that I get about the music I make is that it's very, you know, I coined this term earlier when we were talking upstairs, that it's words you see. You know, people they find the music to be very vivid, and they can imagine the things that are being said in their mind. So I think, you know, that you know, if people do that, great. If people just enjoy listening to the music, they like the bars, they like the beats, they can just vibe to it in whatever way they can. It doesn't matter to me, as long as they can take away something that they enjoyed, you know. It doesn't matter even if it's a song about something negative, you know, it doesn't matter. If you enjoyed it and it gave you something, then great. If it didn't, that's also cool, you know what I mean? But yeah, just for people to enjoy it, that's it. I don't have any specific requests that I want someone to, you know, go and start delving into all the stuff I'm talking about, or, you know, I don't require anything from the person who's listening to it. As long as they enjoy it, I'm happy, you know what I mean? So, yeah, man.
Do you have a creative process? Like, you know, do you start with lyrics first or beats, or do you start with the concept when it comes to your music?
It's, to be honest, it goes in different ways. Sometimes I can have an idea and have a name, and I just want to build around that name, or that idea. And sometimes I just start recording tracks, and then midway through the project, a light might turn on, and I might say, "Yeah, it sounds like that to me. I had that idea for the name. That works. I don't know if I like that." And I just play with it, you know. There is never I couldn't give you a clear-cut routine that I follow. Every time is different. Sometimes it could be the same. Most of the time it's different. So however it goes, it kind of just goes, you know what I mean?
So who or what inspires you outside of music? Is there any books, films, personal experiences that maybe have shaped your art?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many artistic people that inspire. I mean, actors and musicians and philosophers and people that were that investigated very well-known incidents, and there's whether they're political people. There's so many people that have influenced my writing. It's like we spoke about this earlier. I have my own library. It's not massive. It's in total 600 books, maybe something like that. And another reason I read from them all the time, but the other reason is as well that I keep the books as well is because soon there won't be any books. There's going to be nothing no more. Everything's going to be digital, and I want to still have that paper to flip through. Yeah. So I keep a lot of that stuff. But yeah, I'm not sure. Repeat the question one more time.
Who inspires you, or what inspires you outside of music? Books, films, personal experiences, maybe?
That's why I lost myself. That's why I was going with the books and stuff. It's mainly stuff that I'm into that inspired me. Family is always an inspiration for me. I love spending time with my children, with my fiance, with mum, sister, grandmother, whoever it is. I love spending time with family. So that's always an inspiration. It's not a musical inspiration. It inspires me because it makes me feel good. And when I feel good, I feel like I want to work and I want to, you know what I mean? Musical inspirations, like I said, there's many actors, there's many philosophers, there's many avenues. So it's mainly that. It's all the crazy shit that I'm into, that I like to read, that I like to, everything inspires me. The world, animals, creatures, mysteries, people, actors, singers. I couldn't pinpoint it on. It'd be too complex for me to put my finger down and go, right, I know exactly what it is that. And that's why I think you get such a hodgepodge of randomness as well to some of my music, because, like I said, my brain's always hopping from one thing to another, so, yeah.
Why did you choose the name Tesla's Ghost? What does it represent about you as an artist?
So we were talking about being into stuff, and I had a long, maybe about a 3-year period of reading specifically about Nikola Tesla and his patents, his inventions, his life story, who he was, where he came from, things that they did to him, the way they tried to discredit him, the way Edison, who we know invented DC, used to shock animals in the street and kill them, to say this is the result of Tesla's alternating current because he invented, alternating current.
Yeah.
So just a lot about him, his life, his history, and who he was and whatever. And then to find at the end of all of that, he died in a hotel room in a chair. It's kind of like, this guy's innovations and his mind could have took the whole of the human race on a different technological path. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with his Wardenclyffe Tower experiment, where he charged the air around his laboratory and around Wardenclyffe with electricity, and then he used antennas to wirelessly pull the electricity out of the atmosphere, and he was able to basically sit a light bulb on the ground in the grass with the connection end side down, and the bulb lit up. To prove that we don't need to have power stations pumping out this and that. Electricity is everywhere. We have electric in us. If you charged the atmosphere, you could draw that energy out with antennas and certain equipment. So there was many things he did that were not favourable to coal, oil, and gas. The triune god of money, which is, we know. So they destroyed the guy, and I always thought, he was an incredible individual. So it was like Tesla's, Tesla, obviously the name, but the sort of the idea was it's like Tesla's ghost. It was almost like he had come back, like almost an idea of him coming back to, to correct. I mean, his laboratory burnt down a few times mysteriously. People burnt his laboratories down.
Of course, yeah.
So it was almost like Tesla's vengeance to come back as Tesla's ghost and avenge what had been done to him. You know, that was a sort of crazy concept, and I liked the name. People liked the name, and I ran with it, and that was it really.
Yeah, it's dopeness, man. Do you know what I mean? And it's good to get a breakdown of that from you. Do you know what I mean? A little insight, because there's little bits there I didn't know. You know what I mean? So you're widely recognised as a lyricist. What drives your passion for this type of approach in your music?
I think I just love doing it, man. I think I just love the process of doing it. I have to be honest. I think I enjoy writing more than I even do recording and getting it down.
Okay.
I think it's just. I just enjoy the process. I enjoy the process of trying to create something. You know, creating music. That's. I think the writing process is probably my favourite part of it, and maybe the end result. You know, in the middle part, the recording of it, and the having to mix stuff, and that's probably the part I least enjoy. Even though it's good, it's a good part to know and to learn and to do, because that's where you kind of cross your T's and dot your I's, you know. But still, I'd rather I had someone else doing that for me, and I could just, and I could just kick back and smoke one, and then, you know what I mean, like someone else was doing it. But unfortunately, we don't, you know what I mean, we don't have the thing to be paying guys, you know what I mean, to be doing that. So we get it done. We get it done.
Do you see your music as a reflection of who you are, or is it more of a character that you step into?
It's a reflection. I think it is a reflection of, not necessarily of who I am, but it's a reflection of the things that I'm interested in, rather than being a reflection of who I am as an individual, as a person in normal everyday life. I think it's more a reflection of the things that hold my interest and that fascinate me, because I convey a lot of that in the music, rather than. I have conveyed personal experiences as well in some pieces of music, but most of the time I don't want to convey to you my personal experiences, or if I have, you don't know that I have, because I've put it in a abstract kind of way, or something like that, which appears more artistic than it is me telling you something about myself. So I think it definitely represents what fuels my interest. Definitely. I don't know if it's a great representation of me as a person. It could be. So I'm a bit all over the place myself, so is the music. So yeah, it could be a good representation of me as well.
What would you say that motivates you to keep pushing the boundaries of your craft, especially in an era when lyricism isn't always prioritized?
I think I got to give that one, in all honesty, to the producers. I got to give that one to them, man, because you got dope producers like Circa 97, Brilliance, TCG, Carnate, Tony Mahoney, Agor, Evil Ed, Yotto Beats, who's my homie from Costa Rica, Level 13, out of Philadelphia. We had an EP together called Fort Valence. We're working on a part 2 at the moment. There is like a lot of it's the producers, I think, that keep it going, that keep fueling it and keep my pen sharp, because the more dope that comes from them, it just makes you want to write. You know what I mean? If the producers are sending you heat, my hand it goes. You know what I mean? As long as they keep doing that, I think that will keep fueling my desire to keep writing and keep recording and keep doing music. You know, the moment I don't have them guys there, maybe, or the production that's coming from people, you know, say they stop producing and someone else, and it isn't as, I don't know. That might make me just sort of go and just deflate a bit and not really have the passion for it. But yeah, that one's for the producers, man, who give me all this dope shit, man. Because if it weren't for them, you know, I think producers are pretty underappreciated as
Definitely.
Well, in not just mainstream but in the underground as well. You know, without these guys giving man all this heat, these projects ain't possible, these songs ain't possible. You know, so yeah, just the producers keep giving you the fire. That's going to keep the productivity and the thing going for a long time, man.
Lastly, if you could define your legacy as Tesla's Ghost in one sentence, what would it be?
Wow. I think it's just that the legacy is just do what you like, I think. I don't think see, some people say, you know, very kind words to me, and I receive them, you know, but I don't think I've been that impactful on the scene. I think there are individuals who really like my stuff and who really like what I do, and this is the fact that a fan base that's really good that I told you about, that always show me love. But I don't think I could think the only way you could sum up Tesla's Ghost or the legacy of what I've done in one word is I'm just a normal guy who wanted to make music about weird shit that people didn't know much about or didn't understand much about, and that was very, very in the early days. So now there's a lot of people that, you know, write a lot of rhymes about a lot of different things and whatever. But like I said, when I was doing this at 14, 15 in the UK, when the grime scene was hot and everything was like more grime and this and that. I used to be on radio. I used to do like grime MCing and all that type of stuff as well. Like, but the legacy is Tesla's Ghost, normal guy. He just made the music that he wanted to make and didn't give a monkey's what anyone thought about it. You know, as long as when I play a song, I sit there, I listen to it, I'm smoking, I like that song. That's all I need.
Okay.
I don't care if anyone else likes it. As long as I've given it the stamp, that's why I say you can't make music for the fans, because if you make music for the fans, then you're doing something for someone else. Music, I feel, is something you do for yourself, and anybody who feels it and likes it and wants to sort of join along for the ride, that's it. So yeah, that is the Tesla's Ghost legacy. Just spit your bars, man, about what you want to do, what you like. And that's what I got from the artist that I mentioned earlier, Holocaust, who had passed away. God rest his soul, 45 years old. When I heard him, because I was writing that kind of stuff when it wasn't common for people to be rapping like that, and I thought people are going to think it's weird to rap about UFOs and this and that. And when I heard War Cloud, also known as Holocaust, and when I heard people like White Lotus, the war affiliate White Lotus, they made me realise that, like you can just... There are rappers out here that are going to spit their darts, so you can rhyme about it. You can just do what you do and don't worry too much about it. So, like I said earlier, we're not going to take this shit too seriously. I take my music seriously, but what I mean is, you know, I will always continue to make music that I like to make, and not going to make something because I think it's going to do well, or it will bring me in larger amount of capital, or this or that, or... That's, if you do it like that, most likely you're gonna not make very good music. So you got a choice to make, and either you want to make music that you like making, or you want to make something that someone else likes, so you can get slightly ahead in the game. Yeah. But that's a choice that person makes, you know. So that is the legacy. Rap about what you want. I think that's going to be the Tesla's Ghost legacy.
Brother, it's been a pleasure.
Bro, I've enjoyed it, man. Thank you for having me on. You asked me some damn hard questions, man.
Nah, man.
All you guys that come on this show, man. This is a really good show, man. This is what I like. Sit down with two individuals, forget all the pageantry, having a good conversation about things. And this guy got some hard questions, man. Like,
do you know what it is, bro? It's
good thought-provoking questions, not just that basic ABC, you know.
Well, the reason why it is because I know that there's a lot of people that will be watching this, yeah? One, that know who you are, and two, that others that don't know who you are.
Yeah.
But the difference is that those that know who you are, they might be listening to your music and thinking, who is the guy behind this? Where's his mind at? Like, you know, that's why I wanted to have something which wasn't always focused on that. Oh, now, spit. Because we've got all of the materials that we've heard you, but now we want to get that different side.
You know what I'm
saying?
Different understanding.
And also this platform is here to give you your flowers while you're living and breathing.
I appreciate
to show you there that we respect and we love the penmanship. You know, we like what you're doing. We're interested in what's coming next. You know, stuff like that. So
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, that's what this is for.
Well, me and Ray Vendetta have got something in the pipeline. I've only known Ray, I don't know, 25 years. We've never done an album together. It's ridiculous.
Right.
But we've put something together. I think it is some of mine and his best work. I'm certain of it.
That's a big statement, bro.
I'm certain of it.
Man.
I can't give dates or times. It will be soon. It won't be a million years from now.
Does he have a title? Or is that too early?
This is what. Yeah. Well, we've got ideas for a title. We've been talking and debating and just throwing ideas around, brainstorming. But the album itself is basically done. It requires, like we said, crossing the T's, dotting the I's. But I'm looking forward to letting people hear that, because I really do think it is some of our best work. I mean, Ray, that guy's just a monster, man. He went absolutely bananas. Like, when I tell you crazy, some of the verses that Ray spat on there, they you know what I mean, they should put that shit in the Louvre or something, man. They should hang it, print it out and hang it up.
Oh.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I look forward to people hearing that, man. I really do. Yeah. So, but like I said, appreciate you having me on, man. It's been dope.
Much
Thank
love,
you very
man.
much, man. I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, man.
Thank
Love.
you.
Yo, what's outside is within. The mind regulates the hand that masters the pen. The pen is mightier than the sword, but the tongue is mightier still. The stargate to the mind's revealed. The vortex.